The story of Atlantis begins with one man. His name was Plato. He was a philosopher in ancient Greece living over 2,000 years ago. In two of his famous works, the Timaeus and Critias, he painted a vivid picture of a magnificent island nation. He described Atlantis as a true powerhouse. It was a place of incredible wealth and advanced technology, an immense military might. Plato tells us this story came from ancient Egyptian priests, passed down through generations. Plato's description was incredibly detailed. A city built in concentric circles, land rings and water rings connected by massive canals. At the center stood a grand temple to Poseidon, covered in silver with pinnacles of gold. The people were noble and wise, descended directly from Poseidon himself. They ruled a vast empire that stretched across the sea. For a long time they lived in harmony and virtue, a perfect society blessed by the gods. But this utopian existence was not destined to last forever. The people of Atlantis began to change, their divine nature diluted with human flaws. Greed, ambition, and lust for power corrupted their once noble hearts. They turned from virtue and began a campaign of conquest. This act of hubris angered the gods who saw a civilization tarnished by arrogance. The end came swiftly and with terrifying force. As punishment, the gods unleashed a terrible cataclysm. Plato wrote of one grievous day and night when violent earthquakes and floods struck. The magnificent city of Atlantis was swallowed by the waves. It vanished completely, sinking beneath the ocean to be lost forever. Plato's tale ends there, leaving a haunting image of a mighty civilization wiped from Earth. Why does a story told thousands of years ago still hold such power over us? The fascination with Atlantis is rooted deep in the human imagination. It represents the ultimate what if. What if there was a perfect society? Atlantis is more than just a sunken city. It's a symbol of lost paradise. The central question has always been the same. Was Plato telling a true story or creating a fictional allegory? This question divides experts into two main camps. On one side are those who believe Atlantis was a real historical place. They argue that Plato was a serious historian and philosopher who presented the story as fact. He even provided a detailed lineage for how the tale was passed down to him. Proponents suggest Plato's story is a preserved memory of a real catastrophe. The most popular theory connects Atlantis to the Minoan civilization on Thera, now known as Santorini, where a colossal volcanic eruption blew the island apart. This would have sent tsunamis across the Mediterranean, burying the advanced Minoan culture. On the other side of the debate are the skeptics. Most mainstream historians and archaeologists believe Atlantis is a myth. They argue that Plato invented the story as a philosophical tool. He created the perfect but flawed state of Atlantis as contrast to his ideal Athens. The story was a vehicle to explore themes of power, corruption, and divine justice. Skeptics point to the complete lack of physical evidence. While no one has put a pin in the map and said, "Here is Atlantis," many discoveries have definitely fueled the legend. One famous figure was Ignatius Donnelly, a U.S. congressman in the 19th century. His 1882 book, Atlantis, the Antediluvian World, became a massive bestseller. He gathered evidence from geology, mythology, and archaeology to argue all ancient civilizations descended from Atlantis. In the 1960s, off the Bahamian island of Bimini, divers found large, flat limestone blocks arranged in a straight line. Some, including psychic Edgar Cayce, who had predicted a discovery there, claimed it was a remnant of Atlantis. Geologists, however, concluded the formation is natural beach rock. Stories of sunken lands appear worldwide. Wales' Contraire Gwaelod, India's Dwarka, Egypt's real underwater city of Heraklion. Expeditions continue to this day, armed with modern technology, deep-sea submersibles, sonar mapping, and satellite imaging. Researchers have proposed locations from Spain to Morocco, the Caribbean to Antarctica. Each potential site is explored with hope and excitement. While these searches have yielded fascinating discoveries about geology and marine biology, the grand prize remains as elusive as it was in Plato's time. So where does that leave us? On one hand, we have the believers who see the story as too detailed and specific to be fiction. They see Plato as a historian preserving a vital memory of a lost, advanced civilization. They point to geological possibilities like the Thera eruption and the Bimini Road as tantalizing clues. For them, the search is a noble quest to recover a forgotten part of our human story. On the other hand, we have the skeptics, grounded in scientific and historical evidence. For them, extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof, a philosophical parable about national hubris. The lack of mention in other ancient records and fantastical elements lead them to conclude Atlantis is myth. For the scientific community, the case is largely closed until concrete evidence emerges. The debate itself has become a legend. So, what do you think? Was Atlantis a real place, a lost chapter of our past? Or is it one of the greatest stories ever told? The quest continues to capture our imagination, a modern-day epic adventure. Whether real or imagined, Atlantis remains one of history's most compelling mysteries, challenging us to keep searching, keep questioning, and keep dreaming of what might have been.